magazines, Jeremy Kaplan and Laura Fitzpatrick report that laundry workers, especially in hospitals, have the worst job in America. They have blood, needles, body parts, bits of fingers, everything in those laundry bags. Now, it takes a lot of dignity to work at a thankless job. This year, I am a resident advisor in Athens North, and for the past 4 years, I have worked as a groundskeeper at the Denver Country Club golf course. Sometimes jobs such as these can be very frustrating, and when jobs become frustrating, it is important to act in a mature manner. If thankless jobs were not done, it would get noticed immediately. As an individual who has worked several thankless jobs, allow me to tell you what the experience is like. First, it takes lots of patience to work at a thankless job. Let me tell you about bulletin boards. As RAs, we are required to make and put up bulletin boards in our hall. At the beginning of this year, I made 5 bulletin boards, and in one night they were all torn to the ground. Ever since then, whenever I put up a bulletin board, it is again, within the week, torn down. It is important to be patient and persistent, even when you know that your work is going to be torn down or unappreciated. Similarly, groundskeepers work very early in the morning. Over the summer, I had to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. That is before the sun comes up. Sometimes, in order to prepare the course for early golfers, a groundskeeper may accidentally get in the way. One morning, I was mowing a fairway, and 300 yards away, an older woman was teeing off. If you don't know much about golf, an older woman in her 60s cannot hit a golf ball 300 yards. So I kept working. The woman later yelled at me for getting in her way, and while getting yelled at, it is important to be patient even when you are not entirely at fault. When an underappreciated worker loses his or her patience, it can be difficult to remain professional. One night, while on duty as an RA, I was woken up at 3 in the morning to let a drunk girl into the building. She was so incoherent that she could only say one sentence. I asked her, "What floor do you live on?" She responded, "I lost my coat, my Buff One card, and my cell phone." I said, "What's your room number?" She responded, "I lost my coat, my Buff One card, and my cell phone." Now, at 3 in the morning, I was not in the mood to deal with this drunk girl, and I wanted to push her outside and wait until she was sober enough to have a conversation with me, but I had to stay professional and take into account the safety of the residents. According to the official rules of golf, prior to playing a stroke or making a practice swing, the player should ensure that no one is standing close by or in a position to be hit by the club or the ball. Some members of the Denver Country Club golf course love to try to hit the groundskeepers with their golf ball. My equipment has been hit by golf balls, and I have come just inches away from getting hit myself. And for those of you who don't know very much about golf, golf balls are very, very hard and can injure you. When others try to harm you at your job, it can make you quite angry, but in order to keep your job, you must stay professional. Now, what if a person in an underappreciated job lost their patience or was not professional? Well, if thankless jobs were not done, it would be noticed immediately. The University of Colorado provides this description of the resident advisor position. RAs are the primary contact person in each residence hall area or floor. Duties include student development, programming, emergency management, and policy enforcement. Now, many people think that an RA's job is just to get kids in trouble. But imagine what would happen if the RAs did not care enough to bust the residents. Residents would engage in much more risky behavior, which could result in injury or possibly death. And there is nothing more important to an RA than the safety of the residents. Now, if the groundskeeper job is not done, no one can play golf. Even the smallest mistakes on the golf course can add strokes to your score. Skipping on greens, not filling in divots, not raking bunkers, not fixing ball marks are all examples of the work that is done every day to make golfers happy. In many cases, the underappreciated jobs can be the most important. Again, it takes a lot of dignity to work at a thankless job. It takes a lot of patience, it's important to remain professional, and when important work is not done, the unfinished work can have a huge impact. I want you to take into consideration the amount of people that do thankless jobs, such as maintenance workers, resident advisors, field workers, newspaper deliverers, substitute teachers, the list goes on, and realize that these individuals make your life easier with their difficult job. Thank you.